Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well. Hello, hello, hello. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, obviously welcome too. Today we have a very special reading. Well, they're always special. But today we are tuning in and asking which magical creature has a message for you. So these are messages from your beautiful guides, from your magical creatures, from them to you, what you need to know, what they would be whispering in your ear if you were right next to them. So hopefully these will be messages of inspiration, exactly what you need to know, uplifting messages, of course. And as usual, we have the magic candle, so you can use all of these this reading any way that you want for healing, activation. The magic oil that we use for the candle is for healing and bringing abundance to you. So there's a little extra vavum there. So as always, we have 3 piles. We're starting with our unicorn pile. So your first magical creature is the unicorn. Your second magical creature for pile 2 is our beautiful fae here, our beautiful fairy elemental folk. So that would be your pile if you wanted messages from the fairies. And then for our third pile, we have the magical creature, which is the dragon. So dragon messages, beautiful messages of transformation and fire for you on pile 3. As always, take as much time as you need to come into an alignment with your own intuition and your own being. The more that you do this, I know it's a privilege sometimes to have a little space to yourself depending on how busy your life is, but if you can, even if you have to go ahead and pause the video for a second, it really does make all the difference. So we're going to take in a very deep breath now. Hold for a second and release everything that no longer serves us so we can stay in the present moment. If you need to go ahead and pause the video, the timestamps are down below. Do as much as you need. Take as much time as you need to come into alignment with your own source, your own Godhead. So let's move these out and start right in with our beautiful readings. We will check in with the Fae and the Dragon folk very soon. Now, if you chose pile 1, and let's move our magical candle here. If you chose pile 1 and the unicorns, then your magical creature, the unicorn, has a message for you. So let's start off with the Enchanted Unicorn Oracle. And of course, we'll get some other messages for you, but we'll start with these messages here. So first message is mirth. Don't be so serious. Okay, pile 1, that's your first message. Setting the tone for the reading here. And then dragonfly, everything is going to be fine. So the first message we're getting for you, pile 1, gorgeous pile 1, from your unicorns, straight from them, straight to your ear, is that it's very easy and it's not even about control and alignment. It's very easy to want to really put pressure on yourself to move forward and have this work out and that work out, and and sometimes we just need to let go and play. And that is the message that I'm definitely getting for you right now, pile 1, is that everything is working for you. You see, when we put out our frequency, we put out our energy. To a certain extent, we can certainly test it and work with the universe and see what kind of energy we're putting out there, because it does get reflected back to us. But a lot of things happen outside of our scope of reference, whatever it is that we can see. And that's where sort of divine order and trust comes in. So you're being asked to trust that the energy that you're putting out there, your hopes and your wishes, which, by the way, being told that you've put a lot of energy into and you know what you're doing, believe it or not, you know what you're doing, is to trust. Sometimes it's best, and it sounds counterintuitive, and it sounds like it's not going to work out this way, but sometimes when we start concentrating on something and we just get on with our lives and we play and we have fun and we come back to ourselves and we take time for ourselves and we sort of rejuvenate, the energy gets loosened up a little bit around what it is that we want, and then opportunities seemingly come in from nowhere. But of course, that's not exactly what happens, because they're not coming in from nowhere exactly, because by being in alignment with your own energy, by being in alignment, coming back to you, not being so serious, lightening up, as we say, as I say in the course here that we do, enlighten up. Just allow yourself to sort of drift a little bit. You don't always have to have your finger on the pulse, as it were. Sometimes the best way is to take your finger off the pulse, because you know you're breathing. It's done automatically. You're going to be okay. So the first thing is that you've done the work. Sometimes you've got to let it go and see what happens. So for those of you out there that are feeling a little overwhelmed, feeling a little lost, feeling as though that the efforts that you're putting out aren't coming back right now, maybe just leave it alone. Go off, do something else. Have some fun. Have a laugh. Put on a movie. Don't take things too seriously. Trust that you've done enough. And when you're called to do some action, your intuition will sort of move you in the right direction, and you'll be pulled in a certain direction, and off you go, and something will come in. So we've just come out, this is a timeless reading. These are timeless readings. But we cannot ignore the time that this is recorded in and around. We just came out of Mercury in retrograde. Now, while Mercury has gone direct, thank goodness, it does take about a week to 10 days to sort of stop coughing and spluttering and getting back to where it was before. So we're still in this phase of the Mercury in retrograde where a lot of stuff that has come up is sort of refigurating within our psyche, and all sorts of things are going on. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't move forward. Again, it's time to move forward when you feel that time to move forward. Take intuitive action. But until that comes along, have some fun and trust in the divine. The unicorns are saying that they're there, they understand, they want you to lighten up. Honestly, sometimes when we do that seemingly out of nowhere, we're thinking, oh, where did this opportunity come from? And it's because our energy is allowing everything to come in. So, if you're feeling a little bit blocked, it's not because you don't know what you're doing necessarily, or you're lost. It's like you're putting too much information, you're putting too much energy into what you want. You're blocking yourself and not allowing any freedom for the universe to deliver what it is that you want. So just have some fun, loosen up a little bit. Let's see what else we have for you too. We're going to still keep with the oracle cards for now, and then we're going to move into some tarot here. So everything is going to be just fine. And the dragonfly too, we have the dragonfly here. Just trust in how you are being moved forward. You don't need to see every aspect of how you're being moved forward. The turning of the cog, as it were. Trust that things are happening. And sometimes these things do happen outside of our scope of vision, and that's where the magic happens, But trust that it is being done for you. There's so much that's being done for you, sort of, as we say, off camera. So let's see what we have here. Other messages for you, Pile 1. Intuition, listen to your inner wisdom. What did we not? We just said that. Number 15 for those, and that could be 1 and 5, 6. So you're moving up. So, in tarot, when we have the 5, you're directly in the middle, and it's like, what is going on? But you're moving out of there. If you put these two together, and we have the 5, or we have the 6 moving on. You are out of what it is that you've been through. There's a lot of stuff that you've been through, and now you're excited to move forward, and that's wonderful. You're being asked to really hit in on your intuition and take intuitive action, whereas before you might have veered forward, and that's fine. It might have gotten you sort of interesting results one way or another, probably never a dull moment, right? But you're being asked to take intuitive action, which means that you don't have to do anything, but it's advised to sort of to really have that quiet mind. And when things aren't moving forward and your mind is cluttered, that's just a sign for you to relax. And that's when stuff again can come in. You'll be nudged with this intuitive action. If they want you to move in a certain direction, you'll get this crazy idea. I'm going to look up this person. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Or you'll be pulled to a video and this will happen and then that will happen. And then, all these pieces will come together. But sometimes when your head is just full, nothing can get in there. So take some time for yourself. Don't let your past hold you back, and that's your South Node there. And the answers you need are coming. Absolutely. Now, for some of you who are seeking for specifics, you have an idea of the way in which you want to move forward, and you're trying to figure out if that is the right mode of action for you. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I reach out to this person? Should I? All of this will become clear. Absolutely. Again, you're being asked. Sometimes it sounds counterproductive. Absolutely. Sometimes when you want to move forward and you want to take the action, you're being asked to do nothing and to sit with it, surrender, but also listen to your own intuition. Now, there's several different things going on here for you, Pile 1. One of the main things is that you've come out of what we can see here as this vast sort of array of mixed bag of healing things that you've just come out of. There's a lot of things that you've had a lot of aha moments. You've squared away a lot of stuff from your past. You've come into a new beginning of sorts. And, you know, one of these new beginnings is learning how to work with your intuition. Not just moving forward on this just action for the sake of it. You know, moving forward, something will happen. Moving forward, kinetic energy is also wonderful, but you're being asked to move forward in a very different way. You're being asked to move forward intuitively now. So listen for those nudges and move forward. Now, you don't have to look too much into those nudges. Sometimes those nudges are simply moving you on to something else, and then something else and something else. Not every single nudge is going to move you on to that direct opportunity. But you're being asked, you're being tasked at this moment. And of course, you're not alone while you do this. Your unicorn energy, your beautiful unicorn energy is in and around you, helping you do this. But this is a learning process for you to learn to trust yourself again. For some of you, a lot of you, maybe even most of you to a certain degree, you fell out of a certain amount of trust you had for yourself with this moving forward, action constantly. With so much kinetic energy moving forward, you're bound to catch something. It's like sitting out there, you know, as a fisherman and putting out 100 reels. You're bound to find something. But, you know, the universe is asking you to step up and maybe just use one reel now and just listen to the time to put the bait into the water. And for all you vegans out there, very sorry about that. It's just an idea that came to mind. That's the vision that was given to me. But no need to offend all the vegans out there. I totally understand. I'm plant-based too. So yes, no creature was harmed in this vision for this reading, as a disclaimer. So, you know, and you're very aware, Pile 1, that you don't want to go back to the old way of doing things, or just moving forward, and then getting exhausted and getting sort of discouraged with how much effort you put out into the universe versus what you're getting back. But this is definitely a lesson for you to learn how to trust yourself and learn how to trust your intuition again. Your intuition is actually impeccable, but because of the way that you've moved forward before, you've sort of learned to distrust it a little bit. Now, there's a few different things going on here too. You know, for those of us, and, you know, it's a human trait, as we, you know, most of us have suffered some kind of trauma in our lives. And as we've done that, we've fallen out of a certain amount of intuition. So, you know, how do we word this? It's not that you can't trust yourself. It's just sometimes when we have the trauma voice talking to us, and sometimes when we have that voice, and it's out for protection, of course, it's certainly linked to intuition, but it doesn't have that free form. And you've done a lot of working from the past. You've done a lot of healing from that trauma. So what you're doing now is that you're not working with that trauma voice anymore. You really are working with your innate intuition, which of course has always been brilliant, but it's not been relied upon in the same way before in your past. So this is a chance for you to catch up a little bit. Not really catch up. You're not behind. That's not the way I would put it. How would we put it? This is a chance for you to regroup and to heal. Not even heal. Let's see. So this is a chance for you definitely to regroup and realign with your original intuition, which is absolutely beautiful. And for that to happen, there needs to be sometimes a slowing down of the mind, a slowing down of the action, listening again to the intuitiveness of who you are and moving, and those little nudges. All right, I'm going to look this up. This idea came from nowhere. Let's see where this goes. And also, to understand that all the answers are coming. They are all inside of yourself. This is all the answers are coming. And all your intuition, all your inner guidance system has always been brilliant. It's just being finely tuned now. So sit with it, sit with your mind, clear out. If you do meditation, that's great, but it's not necessary for you to do meditation to really sit with your intuition. This really is just about not comparing your life to what it was before. That's not going to serve you right now. And having that trust and faith. Some of you feel as though you're a little bit lost, or you've lost something, or you have these ideas but you don't know how to implement them, and maybe you feel as though the ideas are overwhelming. You should be doing something, because in the old days, it were the way that you moved around before. It's like as soon as you got something, an inkling of something, you would have moved forward. You've got a lot of passion. And sometimes you felt, for some of you, you felt so overwhelmed you didn't do anything one way or another. This is the middle road for you. This is the middle road of taking intuitive action, which gets you much quicker, gets you exactly where you need to be. You don't need to worry about that. But this is a sort of a new way of working for you. So have some patience. Again, enlighten up, have some fun. Clear out the voices in your mind that are telling you, how can this work? Because it's comparing to the way that you used to do things. And just be really easy on yourself right now. Let's get you some tarot. Also, oh, these two are coming out. These two just flew out of the deck here. Judgment and Four of Swords. Absolutely. So have a look at this. So this is the unicorn tarot, obviously, because unicorns are everywhere. You have your source right here, and you have all that you need, all the information that you need in and around you to move forward, and rising you up into this new way of being. And also this old, for some of you, you have this loop of, if you're not moving forward, you're not going to be successful. You have to move forward, do this, get this done. And for those of you, and we'll take it one step further, for those of you who genuinely feel that if you're not moving forward, you're being lazy, we want to set that out of your mind right now. That might be something that you picked up along the way from society. That's absolutely not how it works. You're not lazy to take time for yourself and to regroup, and to slow down and do things sort of more in divine order. So it doesn't feel as though you really feel this way necessarily. It's just like an inkling from something that's left over. So if something sort of tingled or resonated with what we just said there, you might want to do a little meditation and have your unicorns clear that out for you. Again, it's not steadfast and integrated into your psyche of this is how it's going to be. If you don't move forward, you're lazy. I can't believe you're not doing something. But, there might be something where you feel as though action equals results. We're not going to say that that's wrong. Of course, there needs to be a certain amount of action, but aligned action, divine action, which doesn't look the same as that kinetic action, wound up, going as you did before. Will produce better results for you because you'll be in alignment. We want to remind you that you can be the most talented person in the world, and you are the most talented person in the world. But the way in which you gather those opportunities to you is to be aligned with the highest version of that coming in. So being talented is absolutely, very important. And you've been working on that. You know that you're talented. You know what you're doing, creative and beautiful. But it's also to create the life that you're looking to have. It's all about being in that present moment, knowing that you can have it, and reaching that, and really working with the energy that you're putting out there, the frequency that you're putting out there, to align with that version of you and pull it into the existence that you have now. So that's what you're working on now. You've done all that grunt work. You're very, very talented in what you do. You're ready for this takeoff. You're ready for this, I'm ready for this, physically. I want to move on, but it's murky. I don't know how I'm supposed to do it. There is something out there for you, that there is a plan forming, and it's a gorgeous plan. And it's a lot to ask to surrender to the divine in order for that plan to come into fruition. But we guarantee you've done the hard work. And sometimes it's for you to be less hard on yourself and less hard. And, if you're feeling a little judgmental in the world too, and little things are kind of pissing you off a little bit, that's a sign that you're being a little hard on yourself also. Come back to center. Because, the way in which we feel about the interior gets, sort of plastered all over our exterior. So if you find yourself being a little blunt, and, a little short with people, or you don't have that much patience, or you're or a little judgmental, just come back. It just means that you just need to come back into yourself. Again, chill out, know that everything's going to be fine, and just take a deep breath and know that it's working out for you. And in those small moments, really take that time to connect with your inner self, with your intuition. It's going to mean the world. It's also going to help you trust yourself as you move forward. Some of you don't trust yourself, or you're having a problem trusting yourself a little bit because of everything that's happened in the past. And some of you have had, sort of different versions of trusting the universe. You've been ultra independent. So trusting the universe has been a little bit tough. You've been working on that, on the external realm. We're asking, you are the universe. So it's all part and parcel. It's all one and the same. So we're asking you to come back to center and learn how to trust yourself again. It's not going to take a lot of work. Don't go down that rabbit hole. It's not like, what course do I need to do to trust myself? You just need to clear out your mind. Keep saying to yourself your mantra, everything is working out in my best interest. Everything is working out in my best interest, and it is. And it's also good for you to start as you wake up, really get in touch with the understanding that without a shadow of a doubt, miracles are waiting to happen for you. Absolutely. If nothing is happening, you tend to get into your head a little bit and start thinking that you're getting stagnant. Nothing's happening. Oh my goodness, nothing's happening. And you sort of spiral out. Nothing happening doesn't mean that nothing's happening. You don't know what's happening on the outskirts, what the universe is bringing for you. So you have to trust. Just because you can't see everything doesn't mean that things aren't moving into alignment with you. So there's different ways of working with yourself. When things are a little bit beyond your control, it's about trusting that beautiful things are happening for you. So remind yourself of that too. And you can ask the universe, I'm a little bit lost now. Send me some help. Send me a little bit of send me something. Send me a line. Send me something that shows me that I'm moving forward. Just give me something, send me a sign. That's okay. The universe will work with you. You can even ask the universe to give you a specific sign. It should show up within 24 or 36 hours, and they will let you know that they are there with you. They are listening to everything, and they are there in support for you. So let's see. I'm feeling one more for the unicorn. You did choose the unicorn, so let's choose one more for the unicorn here. And we're gonna come in with some fairy energy for you too. But you are doing absolutely beautifully here, Pile 1. Beautifully. Your messages mainly are chill out. Everything's gonna be fine. Working with your intuition, learning how to trust yourself is not a small feat. You're ready for that. And those nuances in your life, getting back to those nuances, you've had a lot of drama, or there's a lot of people around you that's had a certain amount of drama. So if things aren't dramatic and popping off one way or another, they could be positive, they could be negative. If nothing like that is happening, you tend to think that nothing's happening. But this is, you're moving forward in a sort of a less dramatic way, because you've done all all of that energy's been removed from your life. You've removed it. This is what you've asked for. So, you know, the fireworks come from your inner mind now, and your beauty and your intuition. So trust that it's all happening. Absolutely. Love without judgment. Absolutely. We said that too. Love without judgment. If you're feeling a little judgmental with your with the outer world, it's very easy to do, because, you know, people say the darndest things, right? You know, then that's an indication that you're being harsh on yourself. So come back to center. Just be a little less harsh on yourself. Just clear your mind. You don't have to meditate. If you do, that'll be great. Get back into center and just say to the universe, or even Archangel Michael, if you can help me clear out all the clutter that's going on, all the information that's coming in. You know, feel free to cut yourself off from social media and things like that. Do what you need to do. It's really up to you as you come in. And figure this all out. As we move on and we heal, it can be a little bit difficult, because we come into this sort of this no man's land where nothing makes sense anymore. This is probably where a lot of you are, where the things that used to make you feel, you know, sort of alive don't anymore, because some of them had dramatic sort of things attached to them. You don't have that anymore, and you don't crave that anymore, and you're sort of in no man's land. We call the void. And this can be very disconcerting for some people, but we want you to get really used to that. We want you to have some fun with this. We want you to stay and enjoy being in the void. There's nothing wrong with that. This is your new beginning. But trust that things will make sense. It's just moving into a new phase, as it were. Nurturing and appreciation. Absolutely. Nurture yourself where you are, and also appreciate absolutely everything that you've been through. You've had a lot of ups and downs, Pile 1. This is time for you to take a break and really, again, get right into that inner child. Connect with that inner child. Beautiful. Have some play, some intuition. Nurture yourself. Enjoy some, you know, some good food. You know, no matter what that looks like. If it's healthy, it's great. If it's a little not so healthy, then I say sometimes you've got to eat for your body. Sometimes you've got to eat for your soul. Sometimes your inner child wants a little pizza. You know, it can be vegan, it can be whatever. It can be homemade, but whatever. You know, just nurture yourself in the way that you want to be nurtured right now. And allow yourself to sort of cleanse and connect right back into your intuition. You will not be sorry. If you're feeling a little bit of that fog, all of this just slowing down is going to help you get through that. So we hope gave you a little inspiration and gave you some messages, some beautiful messages that resonated with you. That's what we have for you, Pile 1. And always, 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 if you chose Pile 1, then you have your unicorns. Meditate with the unicorns. We have here on Unicorn Light Tarot a whole series of working with the unicorns throughout your chakras. You don't have to work through all of the chakras. The very first one on the playlist is meeting your unicorn. So if you haven't done that one already, you might want to do that one. There's many others on YouTube. Again, what did we just say? Always listen to your intuition. Let your intuition guide you wherever you need to do, wherever you need to go here. But it's all about whatever is in and around you. That fog, it's not really hitting you. It's not really there. So just stay the course and just go enlighten up, have some fun, and go eat some pizza. All right, darlings. Until we meet again, you stay safe and sane. We are giving you and sending you as much support as we can, exactly where you are. Without changing one iota. And we're sending you some unicorn, beautiful energy too, as you set in with your intuition and move forward in this glorious world. All right, till we meet again. But my lovelies, if you chose Pile 2, then you chose the fairy pile, the wonders of the fae, so your magical creature from the fairies, your messages from the fairies today. What you need to know, what they would whisper in your ear for right now, in this moment. So needless to say, this is a timeless reading. So it's mainly oracle cards we are using today, but we do have the Unicorn Tarot coming in with more messages later. But let's start off with these. Now, this is the Earth Magic Oracle deck. We're also going to have some fairy cards, of course. This one's calling. So let's see what your initial messages are from the fairy realm. So we have, okay, we got a little blowing up here in blessings. Okay, rainbow. All right. And then joy and goals. All right, so a little bit of different energy here, but let's get you some more. But sort of the similar message to pile one. Not surprising necessarily. Discipline is up here. So there seems to be, and strength. So there seems to be, for a lot of you, sort of tensions rising a little bit. Things coming into combination and moving forward and building, ready to release. Some of you feel as though you just, something's coming in, but you're feeling as though everything is sort of building, feeling as though you're sort of going to blow out. And it's all about old energy sort of moving through you at this point. But again, it's not to go down the rabbit hole. There's not a lot of things that you need to do and go through and figure out. It's just a lot of old energy moving through you sort of at the same time, but it feels very intense. Now, these are timeless readings, but it would not be good to ignore the fact of when we are reading this, when these messages are coming through. These messages are coming through just as Mercury has gone direct. Now, we all know that it takes about a week to 10 days for Mercury in retrograde to stop coughing and spluttering and get back to sort of the way in which it worked before. So it's not at full capacity as yet. And we've just gone through a Mercury in retrograde that brought up a hell of a lot for a lot of people because they were ready to hear it and they were ready to feel it. So we're on the other end of that. Now, we're definitely not in the Mercury in retrograde sort of communication fail breakdown, but we're in the phase of everything that came up in the Mercury in retrograde. Now, even if you are you've tapped on this reading and it's not Mercury in retrograde, this would have been a time, it still will be relevant. There will be just moved through a time where a lot of stuff came up for you and you were ready to face it, you were ready to look at it. And now this old energy is moving through you in such a way that it feels as though it's sort of high caliber, high capacity all the way through your body, like it's sort of burning through fuses and all the way through. So, and for some of you, it feels as though for some of you, the sleep patterns are a little bit off. It could be at this time. For some of you, it feels a little overwhelming insofar as, there's things that you need to do. There's, goals that you want to meet. There's things that you want to move forward. And you feel as though your joy has been a little bit displaced because this energy is just sort of full on and it feels as though it's coming to a head and it's going to break. Well, here's the thing. It's not going to break you and you are moving through it. For some of you, there is residual anger that's coming up. And for some of you who are feeling a little sort of displaced and a little sort of down, not necessarily full on depression, but a little bit down, it's getting in touch with that initial anger of like, ugh, I can't believe this happened to me. You should have done better, this, that, and the other, which is completely fair enough. Now, again, we don't want you to ask you to go down the rabbit hole of things that need to be done and things that need to be healed. This is just the initial sort of what it is that you've healed on a very specific level. You've healed on a soul level. Now, your inner child is also healing now. So what's happening is you're having a sort of a massive healing of the inner child. It feels as though, and they are sort of like tantruming it up, going, I can't believe this happened, and they did this, and you did that, and da da da. Now, this is a good thing. Believe it or not, this is a good thing. Bear with me. We're going to explain why. This is a good thing because before the inner child for you was tucked away, it was either protected because you needed to protect the inner child, or it was tucked away and kept out and brought out for special occasions when it was presumed it was safe. Now, with all the work that you've done, you've actually integrated the inner child, which is absolutely wonderful. Now the inner child is stepping up and letting you know certain things, right? So the inner child is sort of having a little tantrum, because that's what inner children do. That's what little children do. Now, in real life, you may not have had a chance to have that tantrum. You may not have had a chance to say, F you, da, 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 you did this, da, da, da. You know, and we all have to have that chance. You don't have to do it to the person's face. Not at all, but we all need sort of that chance to be able to do that, to release it finally. So for those of you who are feeling a little right now, and you just want to be getting on with your life because you've done so much work and you're a little bit perplexed about why this is coming up now, this is preparing you for the future, and there's a lot of strength in this, so trust us here. Joy is absolutely there. Allow the inner child to have that tantrum. This is actually a good thing, because the inner child has been integrated, because you've healed so much. The inner child is integrated. You're actually listening to the voice of the inner child before, whereas before the inner child didn't get that much of a look in. Again, you know, certain times they did when it was safe to take them out, but not all of the time. So this is actually a wonderful thing. This is actually a blessing, and it's going to connect you. This whole process is going to connect you back into your joy. So your message is to go with it. Absolutely go with it. And it's no coincidence that you chose the Fae realm, or you chose Fairy realm, or Elemental realm, because this is the realm that the inner child absolutely adores. So connecting with this realm in order to work with the inner child, ask the inner child what it wants. There's a part of you that's really trying to get back on track, but I've got to go to work and I've got to do this and da-da-da-da-da, and the inner child is doing the tantrum. So you've got these two opposing sides that's going on a little bit here. So that's why you're feeling a little bit lost, and that's why you feel as though something's going to blow. But if you speak to the inner child, what do you need right now? Even simple things like, what do you need to eat? As I said in part one, you know, sometimes the soul needs to eat, which is, you know, eat healthy. Whatever that means to you, intuitive eating. I certainly wouldn't suggest tell you how to eat. Whatever feels good to you. But sometimes, you know, your inner child needs to eat. You know, sometimes your body needs to eat, sometimes your soul needs to eat. So eat for your body, definitely, but ask your inner child, what do you need to eat? What do you want to eat? What do you want to do? Now, this is a full-on integration of the inner child here. So you know, we need to get used to, as they're integrating back in, to hear their voice. And the fact that they're having a little tantrum just means that they want to be acknowledged. So that's what's going on there. Now, the beauty and the blessings are coming in. And this is just this is a little bit of a trial period for you guys as you integrate fully. You're working slightly differently. We're doing the Unicorn Tower here, getting you some more information. So have some patience with each other. It's almost like you're inviting your inner child to move in permanently. This is a new way for you guys to be. You've almost in the past, Pal 2, sort of separated yourself from the grown-up self to, you know, the childlike self, but this is you integrating fully. So this is the way that it's going to be for a little while, but you don't need to see it as being bad or taking you off center in any way, shape, or form. Let's see what's on the bottom of here. Five of Wands. No need to fight yourself in this way, and no need to, you know, discipline the inner child too, because it's easy to do that, because it's like, I want to do this. I'm trying to move forward with my goals. What are you doing here? So for those of you who have been, you know, sort of trying to discipline the inner child without realizing that's what you were doing, that's why you might be having a little bit of a, want of a better term, backlash from the inner child. They just want to be seen. Look at this, the world, absolutely gorgeous. Ace of Swords, they're coming into that beautiful, and the Seven of Swords too. So this is going to be a gorgeous. So let's put this here. We've got the strength. You've absolutely got the strength to do this, and also so we have the blessings, we have joy, we have the world here, and we have the Ace of Swords. So you have this beautiful time coming in now with your inner child, absolutely. And you really do understand that it is time to integrate. You have no qualms with that. There is a part of you that's been waiting for this integration for a really, really long time. And it's safe for you that you feel as though that you want to integrate. And this is a new level of your personality that will be there sort of permanently now. Whereas before you had this real childlike, beautiful self, but you really showed it around people who you felt safe around, which is totally understandable and reasonable. Totally understand why you would do that. But this is a time for you to fully integrate. And this aspect of personality is coming out all of the time. So, but there's a part of you that's not trying to shut it down, but trying to sort of control that aspect with that discipline and making sure that everything's going well. And that's the part that the poor inner child is going, no, we're going to do things my way for a while. So sometimes, the way in which we work when we heal is that's why I always say to people, you have to let people heal the way that they need to, because sometimes the healing process is incredibly messy and it makes no sense to other people. I know my healing process has probably confused everybody and knocked everybody's socks off. Sometimes you go one way and then you go the exact opposite way, and they're so extreme. But in that way, you find the middle piece, the sort of the gray area to live in, and not everybody does things to such an extreme, but you've got an element of that to your personality, pal, too. So it's really about, you've been one way where it's, moving forward, controlled. I do things on my own. I'm ultra independent. And this is something that you needed to do. This is a way in which you needed to be. Now the inner child is looking to really take over for a while and do what they want to do. And it feels very extreme to some of you. So you're trying to control that process because what's going on? But if you let the inner child sort of take over for a while, that extremeness, if you let it in and don't try and discipline, you'll come back to that medium road. And that medium road is that full integration, which gives you the blessing, the world, joy, the Ace of Swords, moving forward in this deliberate manner, with that, kinetic energy that you want, moving into the life that you want. And you can absolutely have with this full integration, without a shadow of a doubt. It's teetering on the point, getting there for you, and having these words of wisdom to move forward. And really understanding this sort of mental clarity, this beautiful essence of having this childlike essence with you constantly. So just breathe into it. Keep asking your inner child, what do you want? Like a real child, like you would say when they're having a tantrum, what is it that you need right now? Very often they have this sort of, it's like, what do you really need? What do you want? What do you really need? What are you asking from me? And I can give it to you. If you're having this tantrum, everybody's going to be upset. We're in the middle of the supermarket. Just tell me what you want. They will tell you. The inner child is ready to tell. It's just that you are more interested in moving forward in some ways. So let's see what we have from the unicorns here. But this is a blessing. This is a beautiful thing for you to do. And again, we want to remind you to reiterate, don't go down the rabbit hole. There's not I need to do this. I need to do a inner child course, learn how to do all of this stuff. The work's already been done. This is just for you to start listening, to be aware, to allow this new way of being to be. That's it. There's no more work that you need to do. Feather. This is a calling card from the unicorns. They tell you that they are near. Now, all of these Fey elemental unicorn energy is around you, and they are ready to sort of have you see things from sort of a lighter point of view. So lighten up, play again. What do you want to eat tonight? Have fun, seeking good. Look for good in your current situation. Well, hopefully we're helping you to see that, because it is a blessing. We're not saying that we don't understand where your frustration is coming from. If you felt that frustration, we're not suggesting that it's not frustrating, but hopefully we're giving you a little background so you can at least move forward and know what's going on. Let's see what else we have. I'm going to choose one more here for the unicorn. Let's see what this one is. Invention, brilliant new ideas. Now we want to be very clear as you move forward with this newfound strength that you have, which is, you have the world, you have the Ace of Swords here. Let's move this forward. Let's move your sideways. Any idea that you can implement with this new integration of your inner child will be absolutely there for you. So for those of you who are thinking, oh, I need to move forward now, I'm sort of losing space, Mercury retrograde, not a lot of stuff. Again, if you're choosing this or listening to this way after Mercury retrograde, that's fine. I've just had a period of moving forward, and and nothing quite worked out, but I'm ready now and I want to move forward, and this is holding me up. We want to invite you just to slow down and just to listen, because these brilliant new ideas that are coming to you will be implemented very, very quickly once this full integration, you start working with the inner child. And also we want to remind you that it's about enjoying the journey and having a magical life in every sense of the word. And this is what this true integration here of the inner child can give you. And this is what we want for you. So this is not a small thing. These brilliant new ideas will be coming in. So if any of you are like, I don't want to slow down because this feels like, I need to get this done, I need to do that. Sometimes when we slow down, we're even more productive. You're very close to achieving your goal. Absolutely you are. And you will do it, Paul, too, without blowing up. We promise you. Don't worry. And believe in the impossible. And that's what, let's not cover the world card up. That's really what the inner child does, the full integration. It leads you to believe. It tells you that the impossible, the magical life is there. This is really what you want. Deep down, ask yourself what you want. You want a magical life. You want to enjoy the journey. You want to enjoy the present moment. You want to know that everything that you want is going to come to you in the most brilliant, magical way, and you can have that life. This full integration is taking you there. So just have patience and work with that beautiful inner child that's being fully integrated. This is just a small, this is not going to take years. This is, this is a very, very small thing for you to do. This is just a way for you to move forward. And it's just a manner, the way in which you handle it. Now, hopefully you have a little bit more vavum, a little bit more integration, a little bit more information, just to be able to make this easier for you. But definitely slow down and listen to that beautiful inner child. So we hope this resonated with you. We are sending you so much support and love for exactly where you are right now. Sending you extra support and love for that beautiful inner child that you have also. Fairy love and unicorn love too. And we're going to say, until we meet again, you stay safe and sane, pal 2. Gorgeous pal 3s, your dragon energy here. So which magical creature has a message for you? So the dragons have a message for you, exactly what you need to hear right now. Let's get right into your reading. If they were here right next to you, what would they be saying? All right, so this one popped out. Let's got that fiery dragon energy. And let's pull another card for you here. And we are mostly working with Oracle today, but we will be pulling in definitely some more Oracles, but we will be pulling in some tarot cards. We have the Unicorn Tarot today, of course. All right, so to start off with your reading, you have Thor's red, black, and gold dragon protects you in times of change, a time of rapid transformation and transition. Relax, you are safe. These are gorgeous cards. Let's see here, that's that one there. And then Royal Blue and Gold Dragon strengthens you to stand in your own power with wisdom. Awaken to your own majesty. Wear your cloak of power with pride. Wonderful. So as we always say here, these are universal energies, and we are working specifically with dragon energies. But of course, there's usually a theme with pile 1, 2, and 3, always very different energies. So, it is worth picking a pile. But this is coming into your own power, and this is definitely a time of rapid change for you. So for those of you who are feeling a little disconcerted or feeling a little bit foggy, feeling a little bit, what's happening next, or feeling a little overwhelmed and maybe not sure of what essence or what action to take next, or if you are taking action, it's just sort of falling short a little bit because you're in this sort of holding pattern a little bit. then this is the reading for you. You've got a lot of passion. Everything is about to take off. It's almost like I keep getting the vision for you, Pal 3, that you're at the starting line and you're a race car and you're doing that ready to go, and you're ready for, that they have the checkered flag, I think it is, that they go down and you're ready for that race. You're ready to do it. You've got enough petrol or you've got enough gas, you're ready to go, and you're just like, when is that flag is going to drop? What the hell is going on? But you're also realizing that there's just so much that's going on in and around you. So the first thing that we're going to say is that you are perfectly safe with everything that's going on. And you are ready for these big transitions. You are ready for everything that's going on. And if you're feeling a little disconnected from aspects of your life or aspects of your inner self, this is just a small part of what's going on with the transition. So just give yourself some space, some time to allow all of this to manifest. And again, as we always say, don't go down the rabbit hole of, I need to take this course, I need to do this, I need to heal this. Sometimes we get into that space. If there's more to do, there's more to do. Technically, yeah, there's always more to do. We're human. We're always learning and redirecting. That's part of being human. It's beautiful. We get to make mistakes and learn more, and then renegotiate what we want to see and what we want to hear, and move forward and learn more and grow more. But really, you've gotten to the point where, especially with healing, we don't need to go down and figure anything out. It's just a matter of giving yourself some space for exactly where you are. Now, things are working, and I think I've made this perfectly clear in Pile 1, but I'm going to make it perfectly clear for you. Things are happening outside of the realm of possibility for you. Things are happening sort of off stage, as it were. If you were on a stage, you've got all the lights on, you're sweating. And you're looking out, you're going, what's my next line? You've got this. Things are happening off stage for you. So trust that if you're in this place where you feel a little bit foggy and you just, you do know what you want. You're very clued into your blueprint. You know why you're here to a certain degree. You don't know necessarily what it looks like, and you don't have to know what that looks like. The universe will deliver for you. But it's just a matter of knowing that things are happening for you. Sort of offset, off stage. And while that's happening, you're being cleared out and being prepared for it. So when it happens, you move forward quickly. So sometimes it's not about us physically moving forward or us pushing. You're being asked not to push. You're being asked to stay still. Now, for some of you, that can be quite difficult because you have that passionate energy of moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. So this could be sort of feel like a bit of a slap in the face. Could feel a little overwhelming because you've got all of this energy and you're being asked to stay still with it. And as you stay still with it, could feel a little uncomfortable. You're used to moving. The way in which you've healed in the past is you've kept moving, and that momentum within the moving helps you sort of heal. It's sort of uncomfortable for you to stay still like this, sort of in your own skin, sometimes grounded into who you are when all of this is sort of happening. It's just, you've got to get things out, you've got to get things out. Now, there's ways that you can do that and certainly help. If you're a runner, or there's ways that you exercise with this excess energy that's going on, there's certainly ways that you can do that. But by and large, you're being asked to sit with yourself right now and listen to that uncomfortability, if there is any, and really ground into your energy. A lot of you are feeling a little disconnected because you need to ground right back into your first and second chakra again. And really do some work there. Again, not work. Don't take a course. Do if you want to, but you don't need to. It's just reminding you to ground constantly. You're very earthy, but sometimes you need to work on being grounded. So this is something that, you might want to integrate into, your day-to-day pattern until it becomes something that you're used to and you do it automatically without even thinking about it. So give me a second here. Okay, so let's get you some more information here. We've got let's get you some unicorn cards. But this is a very powerful time for you. If you're resonating with this already, you already feel that it is. So we have the rainbow. There is a rainbow beyond the clouds. Yeah, just each and every one of you is being asked to hold on. Each pile, 1, 2, and now 3. It's being asked to hold on in some way. an aspiration here. You are unlimited, so aim for the stars. Now, we want to remind you that in order for you to have the life that you've asked for, this unlimited life, this beautiful life, which you are an alchemist, Pal 3, you're absolutely able to transmute and do all of this. It's no coincidence that you chose the dragon, transmuting, dragon, fire, all of this. You're able to do this with lower base energy and move into higher base energy. So even though you might be feeling a little overwhelmed with what's going on right now, you're absolutely well able to take this beautiful energy that you have and transform it. You absolutely are. Nothing is beyond you. So, and what they're doing is they're getting you ready for this unlimited, this beautiful way of seeing the world, this magical way of seeing the world. Because we want to remind you, it's about the journey, how you get there. It's not about, sometimes you can be very goal oriented. Nothing wrong with that, absolutely not. But sometimes that can take over a little bit with the goal orientation. And we want you to focus on, if you would like to, we want you to focus on the day-to-day, the beautiful smaller moments. And when you do, you really feel that connection and also that magic in every day. It's not like we're getting through this Tuesday to get to Thursday, because on Thursday something great's happening, and have that magical journey and integrate that magic on every level. That's where you're at. That's your capability. That's where you're being led to right now. So this is the energy that's coming in, a lot of transmuting, a lot of transformation right now. Again, you're well able for it. Please be patient with yourself. If the energy feels a little overwhelming, then do whatever exercise you need to do. Meditation can definitely clear out. Ground, go into nature. You are nature, so put your feet into nature. Definitely ground into your energy, and remember, this too shall pass. This is just something that you're moving through right now, but it's preparing you for something really absolutely beautiful, to have this sort of magic on a day-to-day basis. Let's see, we have the Unicorn Tarot here, but you have very, very powerful energy, and sometimes you need to ground that energy because it can go off into those higher chakras, and you can be away with the fairies sometimes, even though you're extremely earthy. And you have that very, very pragmatic sense to you. So grounding into that energy, again, getting into that grounding energy until it becomes second nature to you. So if you're feeling a little out of sorts and a little disconnected, then do a little grounding meditation for the first chakra. There's one on here, there's millions of them, literally millions of them on YouTube alone. But there's a playlist here for all the different chakras, meeting your unicorn, and then moving forward to for the first chakra and the second chakra. So you're welcome. Always listen to your intuition. If it's telling you to go in that direction, it's on the playlist here on this channel. Ooh, Empress, look at you, that beautiful energy there. And the Page of Wands here. So you're coming into this energy, like we said, and this is all passion. This is all fire energy. There's so much fire energy around you. It's absolutely gorgeous. So you're coming into your own power and your own strength, and being able to use it sort of at, the way in which you want to use it. It feels as though the way in which you've used it before is that you're so powerful. How do we say it? It's almost like the universe has been using your energy. You've been holding the energy. You've been holding the space for a lot of people. And that's provided a lot of weight on your shoulders. You're no longer being asked to do that anymore. This came up in a reading recently. I wish I could tell you which one. But yeah, you're one of those light bearers that have held sort of that energy. So this is about you regaining the energy for yourself now. And this is not selfish. This is about you holding the light as a container on your own terms, and not having to hold it for the world, for the universe anymore, for the earth realm anymore. Again, that was difficult for you. You did it with grace and with beauty, but it took its toll in many ways, even physically. So this is a time for you to regroup. This is time for you to heal physically. This is time for you to sort of repair, sort of like keep seeing these circuits being blown out, sort of going back to repair all of this. None of this is a big deal. It's not huge. It's, things that can be repaired quite easily one way or another. But we're certainly not a doctor. If you feel as though you need to do whatever you need to do, again, with intuition. We're not in place of anything, but of any medical advice, but for those of you who have had some ailments and things that are going on, from having all of that energy that you've been holding that space for the universe. So coming back into your own power. Now, in that time that you were holding space for the world, not a small thing, and not all light workers are down on this earth to do that. Now, there were other people holding space too. You weren't the only one. But again, it was a lot. So, you know what, let's just realize, let's move this up so we can see this for you here. So you were holding space, and in that time, you were being used sort of as a vessel, as it were. So it's not that you didn't have your full autonomy. You did in a way, but some of you could have gotten lost on that path a little bit. You knew that you were powerful. You knew that you had that strength, but because your energy was being used as a vessel, you couldn't really cling or grab onto that real sort of precious energy for yourself and ground it into the ground. So this is a time for you to come in and transmute that old way of doing things, because the world doesn't need that anymore. Now the world needs you to stand in your own power, stand in your own light, and claim that beautiful energy that you always had, that you were using for the external, to now use in the internal. It's not, again, it's not selfish. For some of you, it might feel that way. But it's not selfish. It's you coming back into yourself and reclaiming that power that you have, that personal power, and concentrating very much on yourself. So that's really what's going on for you right now. So, and from that, you'll be able to work from that God space that you have, that is yourself. From before, you were working from the exterior in, now you're working from the interior to the exterior out. So what might be really good for you, pile 3, and it's just a suggestion, these are always suggestions, do whatever you need to do, always listen to your intuition. Before, it was kind of important for you, felt as though it was important for you, because you were working as a catalyst from external energy. So, and there were so many different versions of truth. Everybody's got this, that, and the other going on. You know, theories, this, da 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 da. A lot of people aren't very grounded right now, so they're, you know, a lot of spirituality is sort of going amok a little bit, and that's fine. It's just the way it needs to be. But what you were doing is you were taking on all that energy, you were processing it, and you were sort of like transmuting it and putting it out there, right? So it was important for you to stay clued in, even though, you know, at times it felt exhausting, and it, you know, you were going through these transitions and figuring this all out, but you were transmuting that energy and sort of leveling it out a little bit. So people will be able to sort of get the universal truth, which of course the universal truth will always be you are a sovereign being. Nobody is in control of you. You have your own sovereignty. Please make your own decisions, right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. You make them for yourself. You're protected either way. Everything is fine, right? So this is the way that you were doing it before. So maybe you were involved in social media a little bit more, but now that you're coming back into yourself, there's an essence of you that now your role has shifted. When you go onto social media, it sort of overwhelms you in a way that's a little bit different than it was before, and now it really can seem a little bit toxic, and that's because your role has changed. You're not there to transition from that. You're not there to be a catalyst for that energy anymore. So there is energy out there that can seem a little toxic, and you don't need to do anything to transmute that energy. You don't need to do anything. That's just the way it is. Just accept it for what it is. People have their own way of doing things, and that's absolutely fine. So it might be really important for you, while you're building yourself up from the interior outwards to the exterior, to let go of all of that, not involve yourself with any of those opinions, because it's going to affect you a little bit differently as it did before, because you've moved into this new role. It's not going to sit with you right, because, you know, you can transform anything, you can transmute anything, but you're not being asked to do that anymore. So it might stay with you a little bit more than it did before, and it might affect you in a way that's a little bit negative, where it's as before it wouldn't have as much. So it's just a matter of accepting that everybody has their own different versions of truth right now, and people are very, very stuck on their own versions of truth, and that is absolutely fine. You're not there to change any of that anymore. What you're there to do, what you're here to do now, is to see the magic, to be yourself, bring that back, that magic and strength in your own power, and stand in your own universal truth, and bring that to the masses, as it were, and just be a beacon of light now for yourself, being who you are in your own sort of Godhead, your own truth source. So if you need to protect yourself, for want of a better term or want of a better word, from the external right now, of all those various different opinions with their all different agendas, which a lot of them are fear-based, not up to you to transmute anymore. We want to be real clear on that. Leave it alone. That's for them now. Just stand in your own energy. So cut yourself off from it if you need to. It's really important for you to preserve where you are. And that could be another reason why you're feeling a little overloaded too. It's just not relevant for you to take on any of that information anymore, or any of those opinions. And they are just opinions. People will tell you it's absolute truth. I believe in it. It is absolute truth for them. They do believe it, and they've made it their truth. And they're bringing it into their reality. So it is true for them. It doesn't need to be true for you. And that's just the way it works. We want you to concentrate on your own truths right now, not on, who Tom, Dick, and Harry is listening to, and any of that. And if you're ever confused about universal truth versus sort of ego truth, if anybody is claiming anything with paranoia, or somebody's after you, or somebody wants something bad for you, or transmuting fear, or any us versus them agenda, if you do it this way you're wrong, or stay away from them or looking down on anyone with judgment, they're sheep if they don't get it. If anybody's doing any kind of fear agenda, it's all ego based. Now, that's the way they need to work through it. Again, there's no judgment. Everybody needs to have the space to do whatever they need to do, but you do not need to take on any of that. It's not truth, it's agenda. Government's after you, this is happening, that's happening. Everybody knows, all you have to do is take a sociology class as an undergraduate to know that capitalism is this, that, and the other. Religion, all of this, there's downsides to all of that. Certain amount of control in society. No one's denying that, but anybody's pushing the us versus them agenda, or saying that you do the one thing, you have to do it this one way. Let it all go. You've been working so hard, Pile 3, to really transmute a lot of that, and you've done all of that work. But now those agenda type things could become quite toxic for you. Let people be who they are. Let them work through it their own way. We have no idea how they need to work through things. Some people need to work through things by really bringing in the fear agenda, and they need to see it and they need to work through it. We have no right to say that this is right or wrong for them, but you do not need to be involved in it. Your version of truth is that you are a sovereign being. You will always be a sovereign being. There's no right and wrong. You can't go wrong. You're protected. Stay with your inner self, make decisions based on your intuition. No one's after you. No one's trying to control you. No one's able to control you. You say yes, you say no, you say when, you say where. End of story. That's it. It doesn't matter who they're channeling or where they're getting the information from. You, and that is the end of that. So stay away from agenda type stuff that's going on right now. And this is stuff that you were previously transmuting, and that's okay. Again, that's okay. We're not saying that they're bad people, not at all. It's just that there's a lot of confusion out there, and you don't need to be involved in it anymore. This is about you bringing back your own magic, allowing everything that is, giving everybody the space to be themselves, but you need to come back into your own version of universal truth, which is not agenda based. It just isn't. You did not come here, Pile 3, to be part of an agenda, to be ruled by fear, to be told this, that, and the other. You just didn't. You've lived lifetimes where you've seen other people do this to other people, and you just are not here to do it in this lifetime. You're just not. You're not going to gain anything from it. You're really not. You've worked through the fear agenda for yourself. You've used fear as a motivator yourself, so you can see it in people when people are being motivated by fear or being controlled by it. You can see it in an instance. This is not what your path in this lifetime. It absolutely isn't. So don't take on the energy of people who have gone in that direction. Let them be. Again, peaceful. When you're in a us versus them type situation, there's no peace there. There's just no peace and self-love. Now we talk about self-love too, and this is kind of a difficult or a different kind of essence for you, because what is self-love? Love yourself more. You know, you hear that in the spiritual community. You know, if people could love themselves more, they would, right? For you, the self-love has come from being selfless. The self-love has been coming from a place of, I'm going to put myself out there and be of service. And that's because I'm of service, because I'm doing this for people. That brings in the love for myself. That's how I negotiate love for myself. That's how I know that love's coming in for myself. So you actually have gained in the past self-love by being of service, by being that transmuting, beautiful soul for others, and having that world on your shoulders. And that's giving you an essence of self-love. Now we're asking you to do this again from the inside out, to bring in that self-love and learn how to do this for yourself without having to be of service first. We're suggesting that you can be the most of service by accepting every aspect of yourself and who you are, and this new framework, and accepting all of your power and all of your majesty, all of your magic. And from then you can gain this new sense of self-power and self-love from that, instead of gaining it or getting it or integrating it from the outside. Now we're also suggesting that you can be much more of service by now being grounded into your own magic and seeing it every day, and being a beacon of light for universal truth, which of course includes every other truth, but it doesn't include fear. It's you know, everybody has their own version of truth, but the universal version of truth is that you are absolutely your own sovereign being, and no one can control you. And the way in which we see our lives is the way in which we live our lives. You know, we create our own reality at any moment. So this is coming back into yourself, coming into your own sovereignty here, and reclaiming that, reclaiming self-love in a different way than you did before. So hopefully this is helping you sort of get through some of that fog. We also want to thank you for all of that work that you've done transmuting. Very, very powerful. Being asked to use that power for yourself now. And some of you, it might feel a little selfish. You know, if I'm not going to be there for people, you know, but you are. You're going to be there for people in a very powerful way. Actually, much more in a more powerful way now, just a little bit differently. So we can be very powerful when we stand our ground, when we, not stand our ground, that's not really the right way to say it. When we stand in our own power, we can be of more power to the world than we think. So you are working differently. So expect powerful change. New moon, eclipse, absolutely. And you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. So that's extra messages for you too. The powerful change, it seems to me really from this reading and even before, that you are in the midst of it. So you're very aware that this powerful change is coming in and around. We're just hopefully giving you a little bit extra information there to support you in that. And of course, your loved ones are safe. You know, if any of you are worrying about your loved ones and things that they're going through, if they're having a tumultuous time one way or another, and, you know, particularly as it pertains to you, if you're sitting there going, oh, you know, I feel as though my power, I feel powerless, because you're going through this sort of shift right now in how you're using your power. And you feel as though you can't help them. Trust that everything, they are being looked after. They are safe right now as you're going through this. That's another thing, feeling responsible for others too. That's another thing of having that, you know, that real energy on your shoulders, constantly feeling responsible. So, you know, as you're shifting and transmuting and you're working with your own power now, it's very much about you grounding in and knowing that you can still help people, help your friends and family. It'll just be very different, but it will be very powerful. It will be much more help to them, much more powerful. Just, you know, just give yourself some patience while you go through this. But in the interim, you know, you can ask for extra power, but we promise you they are being looked after. So let's finish up with one more. We will finish up here with our Enchanted Unicorn deck here. Let's see one more that we have for you. Dragonfly. I think this came up in pile one. Beautiful. Everything is going to be fine. Absolutely. Just a reminder, everything is going to be fine. You are protected. You are living out your best life. You are very powerful. You're just being asked to use your power a little bit differently now. But this is the way you can help the world now, by helping yourself and becoming all that you can be. And we want to remind you as we finish this reading that it's all about the magical journey, enjoying every moment. And sometimes when you have the world on your shoulders and you're transmuting, things are heavy. You've not been in that position. So coming back into your center, into yourself, you can enjoy those magical moments. Expect miracles, expect magic, and expect all of that gorgeous passion to be used for you to pull in these gorgeous opportunities coming to you. So that's what we have for you, Pile 3. You stay safe and sane. And of course, we are offering up as much support as we can send you, exactly where you are, exactly for who you are right now. Stay safe and sane until we meet again. Take care. Bye-bye.